You know that feeling when everything seems to pile up at once? Deadlines, expectations, social obligations. It's like life is testing how much you can carry. We've all been there. Caught in a loop of overthinking, trying to control things that often aren't even in our hands. What if I told you that the secret to feeling lighter, to finding real happiness, isn't about doing more or being more, but about letting go? Sounds simple, but letting go is often the hardest thing to do, especially when we're conditioned to care deeply about everything. Let's be real, caring too much comes with a cost. Overthinking a single comment someone made, worrying endlessly about what might go wrong, trying to live up to every expectation, it drains your energy and steals your peace. And yet, most of us have this inner belief that caring is necessary to achieve success, maintain relationships, or even just to be seen as a good person. But here's a twist. The less you care about things that don't truly matter, the freer and happier you'll feel. This isn't about becoming indifferent or irresponsible. It's about learning to care selectively, to protect your energy for the things that actually bring value and joy to your life. Because here's the truth. Not everything deserves your attention, your effort, or your worry. If you can master this mindset, you'll not only reduce stress, but also unlock a deeper sense of happiness that isn't tied to external validation or circumstances. Take a moment right now to think about the last time you felt stressed. Maybe it was over something small, like being late for a meeting, or something bigger, like a relationship issue. Now ask yourself, how much of that stress came from your reaction versus the actual situation? You see, stress isn't always about what happens to us. It's about how much weight we give to what's happening. And when we give too much weight to everything, life starts to feel heavy. For example, think about scrolling through social media. You see someone on vacation and suddenly you're comparing your life to theirs. Why aren't I doing that? Why don't I have that life? These thoughts spiral because we're wired to care about what others think or how we measure up. But the truth is, most of what we stress about is noise, distraction from what really matters. When you start to let go of that noise, you'll notice something powerful: clarity. You'll begin to see what truly deserves your energy and what doesn't. It's like cleaning out a cluttered closet. You're creating space for things that genuinely bring you joy and letting go of what weighs you down. But how do you actually start caring less? It begins with understanding two key truths. First, most things in life are temporary. The things that stress you out today might not even matter a week, a month, or a year from now. Second, you have control over what you choose to focus on. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or ignoring problems. It means recognizing when your energy is being wasted on things you can't change, or things that don't align with your goals. Letting go might sound easy in theory, but in practice, it's a skill. One that takes time and deliberate effort to develop. If you want to care less about things that drain you, the first step is to build awareness of what's actually causing you stress. Often, it's not the big events that wear us down, but the constant, low-level anxieties that stack up over time. A critical glance, a missed opportunity, an unresolved argument. These small things snowball because we replay them in our minds over and over, giving them more weight than they deserve. Start by identifying your mental triggers. These are the thoughts or situations that immediately pull you into a spiral of overthinking or overreacting. For example, maybe you tend to take things personally. Someone cancels plans last minute, and you assume it's because they don't value your time. But is that assumption true? Often we project our insecurities onto situations, which only intensifies our stress. Instead of jumping to conclusions, practice asking yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, let it go. Another powerful way to care less is to redefine your sense of control. Many of us stress about things we have zero control over, like how someone else feels or whether circumstances will unfold exactly as we want. Think about it. How many hours have you wasted worrying about things that were completely out of your hands? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting what you can't change and focusing your energy on what you can influence. For example, Instead of worrying about whether someone likes you, focus on how you treat them. Instead of stressing over whether your presentation will be perfect, concentrate on doing your best and being prepared. One thing that keeps people stuck in caring too much is the fear of what others might think. We've all been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to how others perceive us. But here is a game-changing truth. Most people are so caught up in their own lives, they're not even thinking about you as much as you imagine. And if someone does judge you for something trivial, that says more about them than it does about you. Freeing yourself from this fear doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with reminding yourself that your value isn't dependent on external approval. To truly detach from unnecessary stress, you also need to shift your priorities. Ask yourself, what actually matters to me? When you're clear on your values and goals, it becomes easier to filter out what's irrelevant. For instance, if one of your priorities is building meaningful relationships, then spending hours obsessing over a work-related setback might not align with what's important to you. Instead of spreading your energy thin, focus on the areas of life that bring you fulfillment. This doesn't mean neglecting responsibilities. It means learning to say no to the things that don't align with your bigger picture. Another helpful approach is to build resilience against external pressures. Social media, in particular, can make you feel like you're constantly falling behind. Everyone seems to have a better job, a more exciting social life, or a perfect relationship. But what you're seeing is only a highlight reel, not the full story. Comparing your life to curated snippets of someone else's is a surefire way to stress yourself out over things that don't even matter. The less you engage in these comparisons, the more mental space you'll free up for gratitude and self-acceptance. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring entirely. It means caring in a way that serves you. For example, instead of worrying about pleasing everyone in your life, focus on being true to yourself. Instead of fixating on outcomes, appreciate the process. Detachment is about creating emotional boundaries, not walls. It's the balance of being invested in life without being consumed by it. Now, think about how much time you spend each day ruminating on things that went wrong or could go wrong. What if you used even half of that time to focus on things that bring you joy? This shift might feel unnatural at first because our brains are wired to fixate on potential threats or mistakes. But with practice, you can train yourself to redirect your thoughts toward what uplifts you instead of what drags you down. So, how do you turn these ideas into actions that truly transform your mindset? Start with small, practical steps. For instance, each morning, make a mental list of things that genuinely matter to you that day. These could be as simple as finishing a task, spending quality time with a loved one, or taking care of your health. By setting clear priorities, you'll naturally begin to filter out distractions that don't align with your focus. Another effective strategy is practicing mindfulness. It sounds cliche, but mindfulness is like a reset button for your brain. When you're caught in a spiral of stress or overthinking, take a moment to pause and ground yourself. Try focusing on your breathing or observing your surroundings. This simple act pulls you out of your head and into the present moment, where most of your worries don't actually exist. Gratitude is another game changer in managing stress and finding happiness. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your perspective from what's lacking to what's abundant. Start small. Each night, jot down 3 things that make you smile or feel at peace that day. Over time, this practice trains your brain to seek positivity instead of dwelling on stress. As you implement these changes, you'll notice a ripple effect in your life. The less you care about the noise, the more you'll appreciate the moments that matter. Enjoying a quiet cup of coffee or simply being present. Happiness isn't about chasing perfection or controlling every detail. It's about finding joy in the imperfect, the unexpected, and the ordinary. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Life is too short to waste on things that don't serve your well-being. You have the power to choose where your energy goes. The more you protect your peace, the happier and freer you'll feel. Thank you for sticking with me through this journey on caring less and living more. If you found this helpful, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until next time, take a deep breath, let go of what doesn't matter, and keep moving toward the life you deserve.